played on some great defenses. How do you think that the Steelers defense today compares to the ones you've played on?
Man, the difference in our defense was we put up great regular season numbers and we did what we needed to do in the postseason. And one thing that Mike Tomlin said to our defense that I will never forget, in the Super Bowl against Arizona, remember we had a historical defense that year. We were tops in almost every major category defensively. And that last drive, Arizona was getting ready to get the ball after Santonio touchdown, right? Mm-hmm. Mike Tomlin brought us on the sideline. He said, everything you guys did during the regular season, during the postseason will mean nothing if you don't go out and win this ball game for us. Great defenses win championships. Think about this. The San Francisco 49ers, great defense last year. But no one will ever talk about them being one of the best defenses in their era because that defense didn't win a championship. All the sacks and all the havoc they cause, it's a fun story, but no one's going to argue about that 2019 San Francisco 49ers defense in a barbershop and they don't win any championships, right? Mm-hmm. That is the next step for this Steelers defense. But I can tell you this much, and I will admit this, and I'm okay in doing so. This Steelers defense, they have more talent than what we had. And what I mean when I say talent, highly invested talent. Let's do it like this, guys. How many first rounders is on this defense?
Isn't it 9 or 10?
Yeah. Cam Hayward's first rounder. Stephon Tuitt, he was a second rounder, right?
It was a second, yeah. Okay,
so Watt was a first rounder. Bud Dupree was a first rounder. Bush was a first rounder. Joe Hayden was a first rounder. Both safeties first rounders, Micah and Edmonds. I can't remember exactly what Steven Nelson was. And then Vince Williams was a third or fourth, if I'm not mistaken. So you talk about 7 first rounders on a defense. You don't usually see that, especially in Pittsburgh. Because, we've always been a good ball club where you don't really have highly invested players year after year after year. But somehow Pittsburgh has been able to bring together a quality group of first rounders, and they're living up to the billing. So no question, they have more talent than the defense that we had. The difference in our defenses, I think, compared to this defense was the years of playing together. Our core guys played together for quite some time. I mean, look at my first 4 years, our defense was the only major change we had on our defense in my first 4 years was we lost Chris Hope and then in came Ryan Clark, right? But outside of that, the structure was still in place. All the core guys were still there, like Aaron Smith of the world. We lost Kimo Von Offlin, but then you got Kiesel, who was already there. Casey Hampton, who was there. James Ferrier. You had Clark Higgins, you had Joey. You lose Joey, but then James Harrison jumps in. Remember, James is already part of the team. Then you drafted Lamar Woodley. Then you got Larry Foote. Then you got Ike. You got Deshae. You got Troy. I talked about Ryan Clark. In comes William Gate. But we all played together for quite some time, and therefore the flow, the vibe was always organic. It was a naturally flown type vibe on the defensive side. So that's the difference. But outside of that, man, listen. If this defense can play like they did last year, y'all, for real, if they can do what they did last year, and if the offense stay healthy, look out. Pittsburgh, funny story. When I got drafted to Pittsburgh, I was mad. I didn't want to go to Pittsburgh, and I actually thought I was going to Atlanta. I'm a Florida State guy, so I'm going to freaking Pittsburgh. It's cold. It reminds me of Gotham City on Batman. It's always gloomy. And my high school coach came to me when I got drafted that night. He said, man, don't worry, you're going to an organization that's always in the playoffs. And at the time, I didn't want to hear that. I don't care nothing about no playoffs right now. I'm talking about, why I got to go to a place that's like Gotham City? And when I got to Pittsburgh, man, listen, it wasn't about the city was one thing, but the people that were in the city and the support and love they showed for Steelers made me forget anything that I had, any thought process that I had during draft night about being mad I was going to Pittsburgh.